Now we get to talk a little bit about getting started in QuickBooks 2019. And the first thing you'll want to do is go ahead and start setting up your company file. Each file in QuickBooks is called a company. You can have as many companies as you like in QuickBooks. Neither one knows what's in the other, so it's a great way if you need to have multiple company files and they have different types of information in them. You can keep them all right here, but you do have to go through the setup process as a one-time thing. Let me go ahead and show you what your options are when you're setting up your company file. This is the screen you're going to see when you first load QuickBooks. You also need to make sure that when you close your company file, you're on this screen as well, and we'll see that a little bit later. The way this works is if you had previously opened a company file, it would be listed here, and you could double click and just go right into that particular file. You could also select it and click on Open over on the right. The Edit List option is just a way of, if you've got multiple items on this list and you'd like to actually delete one from the list, you can actually do that. Your options down here at the bottom are to create a new company, which is what we'll need to do here in a moment. You can also open or restore an existing company. Now this open is the same thing as if you were here and you double clicked or went to open here. But I do want to tell you about the restore option. One of the things we'll be talking about later on in this particular series of videos is the fact that you want to make backup copies of your data file just in case something happens. Well, if you ever needed to use one of those, you would be doing what they call restoring that backup file. And this is where you would go to restore it. It would ask you which file is it you're trying to restore and where would you like to restore it to. Also, notice there are a couple of sample files here. If you click this down arrow, you'll see a whole list of these. And if you want to see how to do something or you're not sure if you set something up right, go ahead and use one of the sample files that QuickBooks provides here, and you'll see exactly how to do things the correct way. We are going to be using a sample product-based business a little bit later, but for now, we're going to actually start and create a new company right here. And this will actually launch us into what we call the EasyStep Interview. Let's go ahead and stop the video here and go ahead and go into the next one, and I'll show you how to get started here using this EasyStep interview. We were just talking about setting up our company file, and I told you that the first thing we need to do is go ahead and go through what's called the EasyStep interview, which allows us to go ahead and set up our company file. This is going to be a one-time thing we have to do for each company file that we set up. It'll take a couple minutes to do it, but it's really better to do this because in the end you've got a lot more set up than if you'd skip the whole interview process. Let's go ahead and flip over and we'll get started with the EasyStep interview. The way you're going to access the EasyStep interview is by clicking this button here that says Create a New Company. You can actually set this up a couple of ways. You can choose the Start Setup option. This is the quick way to do it. What will happen is it will ask you a few questions and then it will set up your company file, but you'll still have a lot more to do, and if you don't have any direction and know what to do, you'll kind of be lost there. I suggest that you come down here where it says Other Options and choose this bottom one, the Advanced Setup. It takes a little bit longer, but it's worth it in the long run. While we're here, let me just mention that you can also convert data from other software packages like Quicken, for example. Or if you're using some other accounting type package, you might want to bring that data in by using this option. I'm going to go ahead and click on the Advanced Setup, and this will start the EasyStep interview. You'll notice on this first screen here that you really only have to put in one thing, and that's the company name. But you want to fill out as much of this as possible because this is where it's going to pull information onto some of your correspondence. So if you're going to send out invoices, for example, you'll want your street address, city, state, and zip on here. Let me go ahead and put in a company name here, and we're just going to call this ASC Services. We'll drop down and it's going to pull in that same name for the legal name. You don't need to change it unless the legal name happens to be different. And then it will ask for the tax ID number. A couple of things just to note. There are a lot of fields in QuickBooks where it will ask for information like credit card numbers, bank account numbers, tax ID numbers, and most of the time you don't need to fill those fields in. They're more informational for you. There are certain things that you will have to fill in, and that is the tax ID when you're going to use the QuickBooks payroll service. It will need that. But if you're not using it, then you really don't need that tax ID. Oh, the other thing you might need it for is if you do 1099s or you process W-2s through your QuickBooks. But other than that, you really don't need it, and you can always come back and put it in if it requires it a little bit later. I'm going to go ahead and put a street address in. We'll say it's 123 Oak Street. This is in Braintree, MA. And we'll just drop this down and pick MA from the list here. And the zip there is going to be 02184. You can go ahead and put your phone number in if you wanted. And also if you had a fax, you could plug that in as well. You would want to have your email address and your website on any correspondence that you might send out. You do have the ability to come back into the EasyStep interview and edit anything you've entered at this point. I'm going to go ahead and click Next. And here it asked us to select your industry. When you look down the list, you'll see there's accounting, there's automotive, there's if you're a religious organization, if you happen to have a hair salon. Maybe you don't have a particular type of business, but you want to pick a generic product or service-based business. You can pick those down here. There is no wrong answer here, so don't get hung up on this screen. Just pick something that's close to what you do. The reason it's asking you this is because it's going to try to set up a generic chart of accounts for you, and we'll see that when we get to the end here shortly. I'll just say I'm a generic product-based business, and I'll click Next. This screen asks, how is your company organized? Are you a sole proprietor? Are you an LLC? Here's another screen not to get hung up on. Here's a question. Do you do your own taxes at the end of the year for the business? Most of us, the answer is no. We have an accountant that does it for us, which is the way it should be done. And in that case, we're going to pick Other or None. You do not have to worry about this unless you happen to be doing your own taxes and you're using some other software like TurboTax, for example. Then it would need to know which line to pull the items into on the tax form. If you pick one of these, what's going to happen is when you get on various screens in QuickBooks, it's going to have an extra field, and that field will say something to the effect of, which line on the tax form would you like to pull this item into? And you're going to get all hung up on that because you don't know, because you're not an accountant. Avoid all of that by picking Other or None, and then we'll go ahead and click Next. Here we have to pick the first month of our fiscal year. This will default to January, so unless you need to change that to something else, you can just leave it. And then click Next, and it will ask you to set up your administrator password. Now, I do want to spend a little bit of time talking about this briefly. What happens right now if you do not set up a password and you go ahead and set up your whole company file? You will close your company at the end of the day, and tomorrow you'll open it back up and you're ready to work. If you set up a password, when you open the company file, you will first have to put in the username and password to get into your company file. And that is what you want to do. This is extremely highly suggested. You will actually end up setting up a username and password for each person that's going to be using your company file. You are the administrator because you're setting up the company file. I'm going to leave this blank for now, and we're going to go in a little bit later and talk about users in a later module here. But in real life, you'd probably go ahead and set this up now. Let me go ahead and click Next, and it says Create Your Company File. What you'll notice happens on this screen is it's asking you to name your company, and it usually pulls in whatever name you actually gave it way back on that first screen in the interview, but you can change that to any name you like. Also, make sure you're saving it in a location where you can find it if you need to. I'm going to go ahead and hit Save at the bottom. And now it's actually creating your new company file. You'll notice that as it's setting up, you're going to start seeing, for example, your company name will show up in the title bar like you see there. Also, in a moment, you're going to see on the left what we call your icon bar showing up. And then you'll see that when it's done, it looks just like this. I could get out of it if I'd like at this point, but again, it's got some more questions to ask me, so I'm going to continue with the EasyStep interview. This is actually the customization part of it. I'm going to click Next at the bottom. And the first thing it asks me is, what do you sell? You have a choice of telling QuickBooks that you sell services only, products only, or both products and services. You can pick any of these. If you're not really sure if you're going to sell products in the future, you can always come in and change all these options. I'm going to go ahead and say both products and services, and I'm going to click Next. Here it asks me if I charge sales tax. This is just turning the feature on. It's not setting up sales tax or anything at this point. You're just turning options on or off as you go through this interview. Here it asks me if I'd like to create estimates in QuickBooks. Here's a great example of an estimate. If I'd like to have my kitchen remodeled, I'm going to ask for a quote or an estimate from the contractor, and that's exactly what this is for. I'm going to say yes and click Next, and now it asks me about using statements in QuickBooks. Basically, a statement is sent out at the end of the month typically. It's not something you have to do. If you had 10 businesses, maybe 3 would do this, but it just gives each customer a list of everything that happened that month. It'll also show them what they owe, and it's a gentle reminder to them to go ahead and pay you. I'm going to go ahead and say yes there and click Next. This question asks about using progress invoicing. I find this very strange that they actually put this question here, because here's what this means. If you estimate jobs, do you want to progressively invoice based on that estimate you created? So for example, would I like to pull 20% of that estimate and create an actual invoice so I can get paid from my customer? If you do estimates, you will want to do progress invoicing. I'm going to go ahead and click Next. And now it asks about managing the bills that I owe. A lot of people will actually go to the mailbox, get the bills, and they'll put them on their desk in a stack, and when it's time to pay bills, they'll just flip through and pick out the ones they want to pay. Your QuickBooks would work that way, but it's designed so that you can put all of the bills in here, and then you can run reports and see who you owe, how old some of these bills are, and that sort of thing. It is to your advantage to go ahead and put the bills that you owe in QuickBooks. I'm going to go ahead and click Next at the bottom, and now it asks me about tracking inventory in QuickBooks. True inventory means that I sell widgets. I'd like QuickBooks to track the fact that I have 100 widgets in the back, and when I get down to 10, it can pop up and say you need to order some more. That's true inventory. You're going to hear another term used in QuickBooks often called non-inventory. That's a way of tracking physical items that maybe you purchase or that you sell, but you don't really care to know that you have 6 in the back room. That's what non-inventory is. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video at this point and let you go over to part 2, and we'll continue over there. I will see you shortly. Hey there, welcome back. This is part 2 of using the EasyStep interview. Make sure you've watched part 1 before you continue here with part 2. We just got through talking a little bit about what inventory is in QuickBooks, and remember there's also a term called non-inventory, and I explained to you that that means that those might be physical products that you want to track how many you bought or how many you sold, but you don't really need to track how many you have sitting in the back room. That's why they call that non-inventory. I'm going to click Next at the bottom, and now it asks me about tracking time in QuickBooks. There are 2 ways to use this particular feature. The first way is, let's say you're in a business where you actually invoice your customers by the time you spend either speaking with them on the phone or doing a project or work for them. You could actually turn on the timer in QuickBooks and record that time, and then you can turn around and invoice your customer for that. The other way to track time would be to use it for your job costing purposes. You could actually take and track the time that your employees spend working on a particular project, maybe any subcontractors, or even yourself if it's doing something like blueprints or something like that. So there's a couple different ways you can use the time feature in QuickBooks. I would go ahead and turn this on and then go ahead and click Next. This question asks, do you have employees? And I find this question a little misleading because if you notice up here, it says, do you have employees, yes or no? And then it asks if you have W-2 employees and 1099 contractors. 1099 contractors have absolutely nothing to do with payroll. This option shouldn't even be on this screen. The way your 1099 contractors are set up is they are considered vendors in QuickBooks. They become part of your accounts payable. The only reason this question is here is to turn the options on or off for the payroll if you decide you want to use that a little bit later. I'm going to go ahead right now and just say yes just to have it on, and if you do choose yes, you will need to choose the top option, we have W-2 employees, and then click next. Now we're getting into the last parts of the EasyStep interview, and this one asks about using accounts in QuickBooks. Just go ahead and click next there, and it will ask you to select a start date to start tracking your finances. Now your choices are you can start for the beginning of your fiscal year, or you can choose today's date or whatever date you happen to type in here. What I usually tell people is think about this. If you bought QuickBooks in, let's just say, February, March, and you decide you want to go back to the beginning of your fiscal year, which might be January, then that's probably a good option at that point. If it's November, you want to go ahead and decide, do you want to go all the way back to the beginning of the year, or would you like to go ahead and start with your last bank statement that you got? Just remember that you're only going to have as much data for reporting purposes as whatever you plug into QuickBooks. I'll just pick the beginning of the fiscal year and click next. This is the list of the chart of accounts that QuickBooks decided works great for your business, and this is based on how you answered all these previous questions. Now, if you're not familiar with the chart of accounts, we're going to spend some time on this a little bit later, but I want you to look down this list and notice the ones that have a check mark are the ones that are turned on. And if you don't have a check mark there and you want to use one of those, you can certainly check or uncheck those particular options. If you're not sure what to do, just leave it the way it is now and hit next. And then we're going to talk about it, like I said, in a later module, and I'll show you what you need to set up. Right now, we're finished with the EasyStep interview. We're going to choose the Go to Setup option, and that will take us to our desktop screen in QuickBooks. Now that's really all there is to using the EasyStep interview. Remember I said that you can change anything in there. You just can't go back to the actual interview itself. You have to do it through some of the preferences, and we're going to be talking about those a little bit as well. Well, that's going to wrap up the EasyStep interview. Let's go ahead and go over into the next section and talk a little bit about the My Company overview options.
Hey everyone, Ava here. Thanks for watching. If you're not a subscriber, click down below to subscribe so you get notified about similar videos we upload. Click over there to get the complete course for QuickBooks 2019. And click over there to watch the complete set of QuickBooks 2019 videos in this playlist. We'll see you next week with additional videos.